All right, ladies and gentlemen, Baron here. So what we're going to be looking at today and discussing today is the T-34-88. Did it ever actually exist? If it did exist, what kind of configurations was it in? Because there's a few configurations we've seen in other video games and in pictures. And I know that, and I'm actually kind of looking forward to seeing how many people are going to jump the gun right now and spam the comments section with, it did exist or it didn't exist, whichever. You're welcome to do that. But if you'd like to strap yourselves in and listen for some good discussions and see some fun gameplay on it, because me and my team over here for Men of War Assault Squad 2, the mod we're working on, we decided to build both of them. Both the World of Tanks version, which is basically a T-34-85 with the German 88mm installed, and then this rather convincing looking picture here you can see where I first asked on my Facebook page whether or not the T-34-88 ever did exist. The picture looks pretty convincing, and I asked, hey, what do you guys think? Did it exist, right? But so basically we have both of these versions in Men of War Assault Squad 2, and I think this comment right here by Tybalt is pretty good. The perfect combo of Stalinium armor and Nazi engineering. We've got a pretty good community over here on the Facebook page. Look at this Egyptian conversion of a T-34 tank chassis. And I don't even know the size of that gun, but there are so many modifications of the T-34 tank chassis out there that at first glance this one seemed kind of plausible, and then this one's pretty good. Brace yourselves, traitors are coming, right? But and the Germans were notorious for putting anti-tank guns on top of many of their weapons platforms, many of their armored vehicles, and the German Flak 88 itself was put on Panzer IV tank chassis and SDKFC 8s, which are these pretty cool, long-looking half-tracks. So if the Germans did that, it seemed relatively plausible that they would put, the Flak 88, the Flak 36 on top of the T-34 chassis. So, but here you can see in the comments, we finally get to the point where people found that original picture, and it's like, no, it's just photoshopped. And you can see a great number of people put them out. But here's a cool real picture of a T-34 tank chassis, and then 420s blazing on the top there. Swiggity, swiggity, swag. But everyone seems to be aware that this was in fact a photoshopped picture. So moving on, we're going to kind of discuss basically, so this picture is photoshopped and there's no real sources stating or any actual pictures of a T-34 tank chassis with the Flak 88 on the top of it. That's not to say it couldn't have been done or it wasn't done. It's just to say that that picture itself is a forgery and a fake, and so it's kind of lost to history, or maybe never was a piece of history. But it is kind of interesting because there are a few versions, but basically this rumor, World of Tanks, at least on the console version, they do have a T-34-88, and that one's basically a T-34-85 with the German 88mm installed on it. But the Flak 88 was one of the best artillery pieces and anti-tank guns of the war. I know that in the Battle of France, the Germans used those to knock out 152 enemy tanks, including Matilda 2s and Char B1s, which were just beasts at that time in terms of armor. They were like KV-1s on the Western Front. And the Germans, which mostly only had 3.7 or 37mm anti-tank guns on their tanks at the time, like, you got to remember, they were using Panzer IIs and Panzer IIIs. And then I think there may have been a few Panzer IVs, but at that time I'm pretty sure they only had the snub-nosed, very low velocity 75mm that were more for, high explosive rounds and stuff like that, not necessarily for tank combat and all that stuff. You should look into and read for yourself because it's really cool stuff. But then the Germans were like, these Char B1s are amazing. They've got great armor. What are we going to use to kill them? Oh, Flak 88s, which was originally an anti-tank or an anti-aircraft gun. And thus, the fabled and notorious and infamous German 88mm gun kind of surfaced, and the rest, quite frankly, is history. So we've established that the T-34-88, at least in the two configurations we've seen, probably never existed. So there probably was never really a T-34-88. Another thing to keep in mind right here, this would be what the profile would look like. It would be over 18 feet tall. So it would have a very high silhouette, and although that the Flak 88 had a very far range, 15,000 meters, it's unlikely that they would have used the T-34 tank chassis, but there were some Panzer IV chassis out there. So here's our model. You can see how the crew, these are work in progress. We've been experimenting with new ways to kind of color and paint the models, so these aren't as crisp as I think some of our other models are. But I wanted to basically show off, you know, the fictitious example of what if some German captured T-34s that were modified. Here's the T-34-85 with the 88mm KWK-36, and then here's with the PAK-37 on it. And it's pretty cool with regards to, like, you know, how they look, right? But we're going to have a few of these guys kind of spread out here in pairs, and then one of these off on the side here on the flank, a PAK-37 right there. And then we're going to be holding off against just a really large, you know, attack of Russian T-34-76s. They heard that the Germans had T-34s in their hands, and they're pretty pissed about it. But before this battle kicks off, I have a few questions for you guys, because I think this would be a fun series to either do kind of analyze field modifications, or, you know, did these vehicles ever exist? If they existed, what would a battle be like? Because I think that's the beauty of this editor right here. It's definitely not the AI. As we saw in the Tigers versus Shermans video, some silly stuff does happen with regards to the AI, but the models themselves and the fact that you can just kind of create these epic battles is really the highlight of it, and that's kind of why we use it as the platform. But you can see here, there's a great number of T-34-76s, and if you think about it, it's T-34s versus T-34s, so I'm expecting these have really low armor, if you think about it. Let's see. We'll kind of look at this guy. He's got what? 2 point, like, really thin armor, basically. So, we've got ourselves the Germans in Russian tanks with German guns. And then we've got the Russians with all Russian stuff. So if we kick this off, I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen. That's the beauty of it. But there are a few T-34s stationed. Let's see if they're in range, right? So that's actually another consideration. Okay, so look at that. This 88mm directly at the front slope, that really beautiful slope of the T-34, which made it so formidable. Immediate pen, right? Effective thickness of, I think, about 82 millimeters, or is that the distance? That's the distance, but we have the clear pen. So, and now if we go over to the T-34s, we'll be able to see both their range and if they're able to pen from this distance. Okay, so that's one of the squirrely things, is, for me anyway, is the camera. All right, so let's face off against this one. He is in range, but he doesn't have the penetration. But you can see here, well, he definitely has the penetration. So this should be a nice trade-off, but from the front, there are not too many places other than the tracks, really. The green indicates a penetration, so we'll be able to disable the tracks of the T-34-88, kind of the World of Tanks version. So let's stay in command of the Germans, and if we can, we could kind of make them hold position. So then the Russians kind of have to come to the Germans, which should be a slaughter. Actually, we'll leave two. The ones on the flanks will be able to maneuver, and then the four in the middle will have to hold position. So, T-34-88s versus T-34s. Let's see what happens. And let me know which vehicles we should cover. Modifications. Did this one ever exist? It could be a pretty fun series to do. Oh my god. Look at that. Immediately just destroyed. Track damaged, track damaged. Hull damaged. Hull destroyed. The T-34s are running. Oh, look at this though. Oh, that one's on fire. I don't know if he got shot from behind because, oh, crew injured right there. The AI just doesn't care. Oh, man. I don't know if any of the... This one actually looks pretty banged up. Oh, yeah, that one, the gun's disabled. This guy's got detracked. The T-34s will have to flank if they're going to be effective against the 85s. Basically, the T-34-88 with the German 88 in it. Oh, man. It's just a massacre, really. Look at this absolute carnage. Can you imagine? Look at all these dead, like, these crew members in disabled tanks. So the T-34-88. Those pictures never existed. Or, I mean, they were photoshopped. Let's see. The field guns did not do very well. Crews completely taken out on this. These are more than fine. This one's actually surprisingly still alive. Oh shit. We got some sloped armor here being quite effective. Let's see if we can't. There we go. Hull destroyed. Right through that. Crew's abandoning it. It's on fire. Oh. Every now and then you think like it's gonna freeze. So how many do we have left? Oh, that one was charging up. We've got just a few left, really. Let's see if we can't change the fortunes of war here. Uh-oh. That didn't work out. The AI immediately saw that. So this one's got a damaged turret. This one's still firing away. Let's see if we can at least knock out this guy. Track damage, that's not what we want. The turret rings aren't really feasible. We could try to hit the gun and disable the gun. But for the most part, the T... Oh, wait a minute, guys. Look at this. This one just got absolutely dominated. I'm curious as to how that happened. This one's fine. So, that's a clear indication of the power of the German 88mm guns. But you know what? Just for fun, let's do some close quarters. See what you got. Flanking maneuvers here. Oh, it bounced even from the side. Let's try. Ooh, the side of the turret's no good. Woo! See, it's very similar to. There we go. Knocked out his turret. Got shot from the side here. The rest of them got immediately wiped out. So that's how you'd have to do it, and that's basically how a number of nations, when they encountered the German tanks, the German heavy tanks, the ones with the 88mm, the Tigers, and you really had to get up and close and personal, and you could seriously take a lot of casualties in that endeavor. So this was a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is what the aftermath looks like. Just absolute carnage. These guys had a field day. Whoa. He's repairing it. Let's go ahead and see what's going on over here. Oh, you got to repair your tracks. There is one Russian still alive. Let's see if we can't knock it out here. So I'm pretty sure that's it. We're hitting this guy's track. Let's try to fire straight through the mantlet. See if we can't pull off this shot. It doesn't want to be accurate, I'll tell you that much. If you hit that cheek, that'd be a really good blow and probably take out the turret completely. The accuracy is a problem. You know what? We're going in. Oh, we can't because it got detracked. This one's getting repaired. The flanking seemed to have worked. That one's totally knocked out. A lot of these are ripe for the picking, I tell you what. These Russians could probably just charge with infantry. But anyway, so T-34-88. It's kind of fun, man, because honestly, when I first saw that picture, it looked really realistic. There's some pictures running out there of... Is this guy going commando mode? Oh, he was until this guy's coaxial mounted machine gun started firing an MG-34. That'll keep you pinned down. Anyway, so the T-34-88. Let me know your ideas and suggestions, alternative series. Should we address, you guys can tweet me and put on the Facebook pictures of, Photoshop World War II stuff, mythological tanks in the comment section, whatever, really. But whatever you'd like to see, whatever you think would be pretty cool, let me know, because I want to read into it. I love this kind of stuff. This, ladies and gentlemen, finally, in conclusion, was the T-34-88. And all pieces of evidence seem to point to the fact that it never existed in either of these forms. But it is fun to see it in action.